Good evening, Zimbabwe. You are listening to Studio 7 from the Voice of America in Washington on Monday, January 10th, 2022. This is Live Talk. I am Kip Stube.
And I'm Marvelous Mhlanganya, who are broadcasting from my home in Washington, D.C. due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Tonight on Live Talk, we are talking about COVID-19 and the Africa Cup of Nations.
And we will take a first look at what is happening due to the COVID-19 pandemic. First, let's take a look at COVID-19 figures in Zimbabwe. The Ministry of Health reports that 12 people died of COVID-19 in Zimbabwe yesterday, and more than 370 tested positive for coronavirus. More than 5,000 Zimbabweans have succumbed to COVID-19 since the pandemic started.
In its daily report, the ministry also reports that over 4.2 million Zimbabweans have received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine and more than 3.2 million their second dose.
And that the country needed to reach the herd immunity of 10 million people, and they're still chasing that so that, there are no more infections. But in breaking news, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has fired State Security Minister Owen Ncube. No reasons have been given for removing him from his cabinet, and we received this news via press statement, and also it was quoted on ZBC News.
And in soccer, it's bad news for the Zimbabwe Warriors, who have fallen to the Lions of Teranga in Cameroon in their opening games of the Africa Cup of Nations. Zimbi ndaba Cameroon, Marvelous.
Yes, we saw Zimbabwe falling in the dying minutes of the game. We saw Senegal coming up 1 and Zimbabwe going out with 0 on today's match, but they're still not out of the running. Gibbs will be watching to see what happens in Group B as they move forward to play their next match.
And I know that there were only 25 seconds remaining for the game to end. It was so sad for Zimbabwe to go down that way. Yes, kangeleke okwenzakala eZimbabwe siqaleke nge-COVID-19. Uhlangothi lwezempilakahle luthule abantu abayi-12 ababulewe umkhuhlane lo izolo. Kuthi-ke abayi-373 ngabantu abahlolwe batholakala belegciwane le-COVID-19. Siyakwazi ukuthi kusukela ngoMbimbithi nyakenye sokulabantu 222,291 asebabanjwa yi-COVID-19 kwaphepha kumkhuhlane lo aba-194,306. Kuthi-ke nxa sikhangela asebabulawa yi-COVID-19 kusukela nyakenye bayi-5,160. Ngase sibuya kulabo asebejovwe ijekiseni yakuqala yokuzivikela umkhuhlane we-COVID-19, siyabona ukuthi kulabantu abedlula 4.2 million, kuzokuthi labo asebejovwe ijekiseni yesibili bafika 3.2 million. So kunjalo-ke nxa sikhuluma ngakhonokho-ke okwe-COVID-19. Nxa sikhangela njalo siyaphambili ngokunye okwenzakala eZimbabwe, sizweke ukuthi umongameli Emmerson Mnangagwa sexotshe umsebenzi umnumzana Owen Ncube okade ngu-State Security Affairs Minister. Asikwazi ukuthi uxotshelweni njalo akukhulunywanga ukuthi kambe ungakwenzakaleni ukuthi axotshwe, ngoba khanyazani babedlalana kuhle kudala, okwamanje asazi ukuthi kozala nkomoni ngoba sexotshiwe umsebenzi Owen Ncube. Owen Ncube ngomunye walabo bafakela izijeziso zenotho ilizwe leMelika. So-ke besithi hayi phela kunengi ongani kuyahlupha. Siphinde njalo-ke singena kokunye siyabona ukuthi-ke iZimbabwe Warriors ichayiwe khona ngale kwele Cameroon emdlalweni wayo ku-Group B ku-Africa Cup of Nations. 1 siyakhumbula ipenalty echaywe nguSade, siyibona lesibili penalty sokusele 25 seconds ukuthi umdlalo uphele. Marvelous.
Aiwa, kuneavo vachangobva kupinda muchirongwa chedu pano paLive Talk. Nhasi tichange tiri kukurukura pamusoro pedenda rechirwere cheCovid-19. Bazi rezveutano uyezve tichitaura zviri kubuda kubva kuAfrica Cup of Nations, uko nhasi taona chikwata chemaWarriors chichitamba icho neSenegal pamutambo wavo wekutanga muCameroon, apo vanga vari kuwanikwa ivo vachitamba vachiedza kuti vabudirire mugroup B mavari. Asi change zvakare tiri kutarisa isu zviri kuitika munyaya dzezvematongerwo enyika, asi tombotanga tatarisa zviri kuitika kuCovid-19. Bazi rezveutano rinozivisa kuti pane vanhu 370 vakawanikwa ivo vachibatwa nedenda iri reCovid-19 nezuro, uyezve pane vanhu vanosvika ivo 12 vakawanikwa ivo vachiwanikwa vachishaya kubva kudenda iri. Asi kubva denda iri ratanga, Zimbabwe yashayikirwa nevanhu vanosvika ivo 5,000 pari zvino. totarisa zvakare kuti vanhu vabayiwa nhomba yeCovid-19 munyika vasvika ivo pa 4.2 million, kunyange hazvo Zimbabwe iri kuti inoda kubaya vanhu 10 million kuti vasvike pavanoti ivo herd immunity. Tozotarisa nhau dzatichangobva kutambira pari zvino. Mutungamiri wenyika vaEmmerson Mnangagwa vawanikwa ivo vachidzinga basa State Security Minister vaOwen Ncube, kunyange hazvo zvisina kutaurwa kunzi vadzingwa pamusoro penyaya ipi. Taona isu vachiburitsa ivo press statement yataona zvakare ichiburitswa nemamwe manhefenyuro akadai seZBC News nevamwe. Todzokera kumutambo wenhabvu uvo vazhinji vanowanikwa ivo vachisigira nhabvu nhasi vanga vakatarisira nemaziso matsvuku. Taona maZimbabwe Warriors vachiwanikwa ivo vachikundwa neSenegal 25 seconds. Mutambo uyu wakuda kutopera, izvo zvakatyamadza vazhinji nekuti tazoona Zimbabwe ichinzi iyo yawanikwa iyo ichizopa mukana pena kune Senegal. Tikawana mutambi wekuSenegal achiwanikwa iye achirova bhora ndobva rapinda. Zimbabwe ndobva yawanikwa ichidyiwa 1-0 mugroup B memutambo uyu. Saka tange takatarisira kuti zvii zvichabuda pamutambo iwoyu, Gibbs.
Yes, marvelous. To interrogate some of these issues, we've got Thandazani Zimbwa, who is a soccer expert. He's based in Bulawayo. Welcome to the program, Mr. Zimbwa.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
So the game has been played, and Zimbabwe has got the wooden spoon. Give us an analysis of the game from your side there.
Thank you very much. I think one of the positives that we will take out of today's result is the fact that we lost by the narrowest of margins, 1-0. So in that context, remember, everyone, a lot of people expected Zimbabwe to be walloped, but I think we put up a good show, and at the end, we managed to restrict them just to 1 goal, a penalty from Sadio Mane. However, as we look back in retrospect, we now begin to analyze a lot of things in the past and in what happened to today's match. I'll look at our last Africa Cup of Nations appearance. The first game that we played, it was against Egypt, perhaps with some of the best players on the continent. Sadio Mane, the Trezeguets from Egypt, and they were backed by about 60,000 fans. And we did well, but end of the day, we lost by 1-0. The lessons from that match in this analysis is that after we'd done so well against Egypt under the circumstances, we thought we were going to get even better against Uganda, against DRC, because those were teams that were not playing at home, that did not have the backing of so many fans. So we expected positives. I just hope that this time around, we don't fall into the same trap of using the narrow loss to believe that we will do better in our next game. We must take each game as it comes, prepare for it according to opponents, and that way we can get something out of the match. The other thing we have to take into account is that Senegal, as I seem to have analyzed them, they came into this game complacent. They had won it before they played. And to our credit, we didn't have anything to lose, but we gave it all. And at the end, were it not for the small boy mentality, where we were comfortable with coming out without a loss, comfortable with a draw, we could have won. We should have taken them on when the opportunity availed. And you'll realize that from about 65 minutes to about 70, we had them on the back foot. But because of that mentality that we were comfortable with a draw, eventually we hung on for the draw, and last minute we capitulated.
Yeah, ungasinika ke umbono wakho ngomdlalo lo osanda ukudlala khona ngale ke Zimbabwe.
Engunanzelelayo ukuthi sidlale kuhle kakhulu nxa sikhangela ukuthi abaningi bebesithi sinqotshwe ngamagoli amaningi, kodwa siphume sinqotshwe ngebhora elilodwa, ipenalty ebekhona ngomzuzu wokugcina omdlalo. Ngakho ke ngalelo ukuthi sinqotshiwe, kodwa sinqotshwanga lokhana okuya ngisisi isizwe, sithi hayi abafana bazamile njalo siyazigqaja ngendlela abamele ngayo isizwe. Sizananzelela ukuthi nxa ungakhangela indlela esadlala ngayo kumncintiswano wonalo owaphelayo owawuse-Egypt, sadlala leqembu elali abathi ngama-host i-Egypt. elani labadlali mhlawumbe abadlali ukudlula abanye bonke khonapha eAfrica uSadio Mane oTrezeguet kodwa saphuma singotshwe nge-1-0 kulowo mdlalo ongukuqala owawuvula umncintiswano we-Africa Cup of Nations. Sathi siphuma khonapho ngoba sasingotshwe 1-0 sasesisithi nxa singangotshwa 1-0 mhlawumbe liqembu elalilabasekeli 60,000 enkundleni. Nxa sisidlala ke labo Uganda labo sidlala labo DRC abangelabasekeli abangelabadlali abanjengabo Msala kuthi ukuthi sizakwenza ngcono kodwa uzananzela ukuthi sathi siyadlala labo Uganda kwaba yi-draw sathi siyadlala leDRC sadliwa 4-0. Ngakho ke kumele senqabele ukuthi singagcini sicabanga ukuthi ngoba sidliwe nge-1-0 yiSenegal elabadlali abalamabizo amakhulu kuthi ukuthi nxa sesiyahlangana labo Guinea sesiyahlangana labo Malawi hayi kuzaba lula cha ngoba abe Malawi abe Guinea bazathi sebebuya babe bengenamnqondo okade leSenegal phela iSenegal ungayikhangela ibuye ivele izitshela ukuthi laba siyathi khwapkhwapha sesiqedelane labo kodwa labafana bethu mfisa ukubathayela ihlombe ngendlela akade vele edlabuzane ngayo ngendlela abadlale ngayo bezitshela ukuthi kungenzakala lanxa njalo engibona ngathi kwenze ukuthi sicine singasanqobi yikuthi besinengqondo liyana yokuthi laba bantu bangcono kulathi laba bantu vele ngeke sibadle ithuba belikhona ungakhangela ngemzuzu 65 minutes kusiya kubo 75 khonapho sibe lamathuba sibile ukuthi besingabanqoba kodwa ngoba engqondweni siyabe silokho sicabanga ukuthi lapha abantu esidlala laba bangcono kulathi kucina kunjani ucina khona kuyana kusilimaza asisawuthathi umdlalo njengomdlalo lathi singanqoba kiwo ngoba sesihlonipha njalo siyajabulela ukuthi hayi asidliwa siyabe singadliwa ngokodwa silanda ukuyanqoba
Marvelous uyangizwa khonapho
ayiwandi kuvanzwa zvakanaka chaizvo mungaone sei matambiro aita Zimbabwe nhasi pamutambo wavo wekutanga tinoona kuti iyo Senegal zvakare yanga isina vamwe vatambi vavo vakuru vanga vari kunzi ivo vakawanikwa vachibatwa nedenda reCovid-19 munoona sei kutamba kwaita Zimbabwe nekuti tazoona vachidyiwa takusvika kumapeto kwemutambo wanhasi
ngatitambe iri kurira vanhu ati tinoshanda nezviripo vanga vakamirira chikwata cheSenegal ndo inonzi Senegal saka dai tavakunda takunda chikwata cheSenegal hatitauri kuti takunda chikwata cheSenegal changa chisina Mendy changa chisina Koulibaly asi zvandiri kuda kutaura ndezvokuti tinofara zvikuru nematambiro aita vakomana vechikwata cheZimbabwe nyangwe hazo tazodyiwa 1-0 izvi zvinotwadza pakuti vakawanda vanga vakatarisira kuti pamwe ticharohwa ma4-0 mamwe ma5-0 asi tazobuda mutambo tangorohwa nechibodzwa chimwe chete pamutambo wanga wakatarisirwa kuti pamwe tichanyadziswa tinotenda zvikuru kuti vakomana vanga vakagadzirira zvakanaka ndosaka tisina kuzonyadziswa asi pane zvandinoda kutaura ndikatarisa matambiro atakaita pamakwikwi eAfrica Cup of Nations apfuura anga ari kuEgypt takatamba nechikwata cheEgypt icho changa chiri kumusha uye chichitsigirwa nevatevedzeri 60,000 munhandare asi tikangodyiwa nechibodzwa chimwe chete saka zvakazoita kuti tifunge kuti sezvo tadyiwa nechikwata changa chichitsigirwa nevanhu 60,000 patichazosangana nechikwata cheUganda patichazosangana nechikwata cheDRC tondofunga tichagona kuvarova nokuti tatamba zviri nani mune matambudziko makuru panga pane vatsigiri 60,000 patanga tichitamba nevatambi vanogona pamwe kukunda vatambi vose muAfrica vana Sala vana Trezeguet asi takazobuda pamutambo iwoyo tangodyiwa nechibodzwa chimwe zvino zvatinofanirwa kudzidza ndezvokuti zvaitika nhasi hazvirevi kuti patinonotamba neMalawi kana kuti patinozonotamba neGuinea zvaitika nhasi zvichatibatsira mumutambo unotevera kwete tofanirwa kutora mutambo mumwe nomumwe nenzira yaunouya Malawi ndechimwe chikwata munoziva kuti nhasi chimwe chandaona vakomana veSenegal vauya vachizvidza kuti vatowina vasati vatombotamba nesuwo vatambi vedu neizvozvo hapana isu vanoti muchirungu we had nothing to lose saka tatamba nenzira yekuti tanga tichizvipira pasina zvatanga tichitya ipapo tikazongorohwa hedu nechibodzwa chimwe chete saka tinofanirwa kuziva kuti mutambo unouya weMalawi mutambo uye unouya weGuinea tinofanirwa kuutora semutambo mumwe kwete unoratidzirwa nezvaitika nhasi
Saka takamira ipapo tichiona kuti Zimbabwe ichange ichisamba neMalawi uyezve tiri kunzwa kuti kuMalawi uku kune mumwe anga ari murairidzi weZimbabwe munguva yapfuura achange ari kushanda netimu iyo yekuMalawi. Zvingakanganisa here maWarriors izvi kana kuti vanofanira kupinda mutambo uyu vane mindset ipi?
Ini maonero angu Malawi tinoiziva matambiro ayo navo tisingachaverengi zviri kutaurwa. Ina handitombofungiri kuti ariko ikoko Callisto Pasua, asi nyangwe aripo nyangwe asipo mazuva ano mutambo wenhabvu unoonekwa muTV. Hapana usingaoni, nesu tinovaona vekuMalawi vachitamba. Saka zvacho zvaangangoziva pamwe nesu pane zvakawanda zvatinoziva neMalawi tichiona mumatelevision. Asi chakakosha ndechokuti patinonotamba neMalawi isi tinofanirwa kutarisa kusimba kwayakaita uye tozvitarisa isu kuti takasimba sei. Kana nakatarisa mutambo watatamba nhasi, tanga tichiedza kutamba tichibva kuna goalkeeper wedu tichipinda tichienda kumberi kuti tinoedza kugohwesa. Asi zvatinofanirwa kudzidza ndezvokuti ko zvinotipei izvozvo? Matambiro atinoita iwayo anotipa here zvatinenge takatarisira kuti timwise? Nokuti ukatarisa tapedza mutambo wose tichiedza izvozvo, asi zvanga zvisingachinjiki here kuti titi pane chimwe chinano toti zvatanga tichiedza zviya hapana zvatipa, saka tochitinda tichinja, pamwe totanga kuseenzesa mabhora marefu toona kuti zvinotipei. Ipapo ndofunga ndo patinofanirwa kuti tichinje nzira yedu yokutamba kuitira kuti vaya navo vatinotamba navo vasaziva kuti vatambi ava kana nyika iyi kana ichitamba vanotamba vachibva nebhora kubva kuna kipa vachifamba naro vachipinda. Handiti apa tiri kutya kuti pamwe Pasua ari kuvabatsira. Pasua anomuziva mapezi. Saka zvinenge zvakakosha kuti tichinjewo vaya vatinotamba navo vasaziva kuti nhasi tauya tichitamba sei.
Right. Going forward, what should happen, Mr. Zimbwa? We know that we are left 3 games, 2 games. So in this first, in Group B, sorry. So what should happen next?
Okay, what is interesting is that I'm sure you are aware that there will be 12 teams out of the 6 groups, or the top 2 teams will make it to the next round, and then the best 4 third-placed teams will also join those 12 to make 16. And then to make the last 16. So the good thing about today's defeat, there is always nothing good about defeats, but in this instance, the good thing about today's defeat is that it is the best way you can lose in a competition like this. By the narrowest of margins, we conceded just 1. Okay, the unfortunate thing is that we did not score. So some may say a 2-1 is better because there is a goal for you. And then in that context, we now must harvest maximum points in one of the 2 games. Then that way, we may be guaranteed of qualification, perhaps as a 3rd place and even as a 2nd place. So it is important that in our next game, we get maximum points. My biggest problem is that our fear to lose than the hunger to win. Sometimes I believe that we need to approach matches without a fear to lose. Why? Because maybe we prefer to say that we did not lose than to come out with that enthusiasm, the hunger to win, and take risks so that we come up with everything there is in a match.
So now, when we look at, we make a close analysis of the players, who can you say was very, very outstanding today? I pick Bruce Kangwa. How about you?
No, I do not. He played very well. Bruce played very well. But I think Patrice Murray did us proud. And he kept us in the game. And because of Patrice Murray, we believed all the way until the last minute that it was possible. So for me, I do give it to Murray. But officially, I think they gave it to Sadio Mane.
Yes, okay. As far as I to ukuthi kusukela namhlanje ke kusiya phambili kwenziwani njengoba ke bekusele 25 seconds uba umdlalo uphele ujaha weZimbabwe wabeli bamba ibhola kwaze kusiba yiphena khona. So kumele kwenziweni Zimbabwe.
Yeah, okusidanisa ukuthi uma sidlala imidlalo le kumele kuyafika isikhathi sokuthi sokulethuba elokuthi lanxa labo elidlala lawo belaba amabizo amakhulu kodwa lokhu lebahlonipha ungakhangela umdlalo wesiudlale namhlanje kube lelinye ithuba elokuthi labo sebetshayela uvalo sebesesaba kodwa thina ngoba besizitshela ukuthi laba esingaphuma lakho kuphela yi-draw asilithathanga lelo thuba ukuthi bagombolozele labo begcine benjani besethuka sihlohla okuqakathekileyo yikuthi nxa sidlala imidlalo le kumele lathi sizinike lelo dlabuzane lokuba kwazi ukuthi hayi singabanqoba kungasenani sisiya phambili sizakhumbula ukuthi njengoba kulamagroup angu-6 ezizaqhubeka zisiya ku-last 16 yilabo ababe bengababili abakhokhela kumagroup abo i-top 2 yizo ezizakuya ku-next round kube sokusiba lamanye amaqembu amane azajoyina lawana a-12 kube sokusiba yi-16 teams ku-last 16 ngakho-ke kuqakathekile ukuthi kumdlalo wethu weMalawi esizawudlala sinqobe iqembu leMalawi singahambi sisiyadlala leMalawi sizitshela ukuthi sesibanqobile umdlalo ongakadlali ngoba khonokho yikho kuzayenza ukuthi umdlalo wethu leMalawi ube njengomdlalo weSenegal lathi libonile ukuthi iSenegal iqinisa ithwala nzima ngoba bavele babuya bedelela so lathi akumelanga sihambe sidelela ukuthi yiMalawi ngoba singakwenza khonokho kuzayenza ukuthi iMalawi igcine ithola idlabuzane igcine isidla thina sithi hayi lapha yikho esingathola khona impumelelo yethu
marvelous
tombothi mangamapiwa mukana wokuti mutaure nacoach pari zvino nezvamaona zvanga zviri kuitika pamutambo wanhasi zvii zvamungavayambire kuti vatarise mumitambo iri kutevera tichiona kuti vachange vari kutamba neMalawi vanofanira kuita sei kuti varambe vari mumagwipa
chakakosha zvikuru kana uchinda kunotamba mutambo unofanirwa kujekesa kune vatambi vako chauri kuda nokuti uri kuchida rini zvichinda nemafambiro ari kuita mutambo munoziva mutambo wedu wanhasi pazosvika imwe nguva yataona kuti apa hazvichaiti saka chisimbisa nzira ichachengetedza zviripo ipapo ini ndofunga kuti ndinozowedzera vatambi vekumashure kuitira kuti kumashure kuya hapasisina zvingaitika nokuti ndatotenda kuti zvekubudirira kuti ndiwine mutambo uyu handichagona hazvichatomboiti saka rega ndichichengetedza zviripo zvimwe zvatichaona ini kana ndakatarisa bhora ratamwiswa nokuti tanga tavakuzvidza kuti hazvichagoni ko mutambi anogona kurova sei bhora asina kumakwa panguva yekuti hatichadi zvokumwiswa indofunga kuti kana tasvika paya vatambi vedu vakutamba nenzira yekuti hapasisina kana nzira yekuti munhu angarova bhora asina kumakwa nokuti tava kuvhara zviya zvekuti hatisina basa nezvichaitika kumberi asi kuno kumashure vanhu havachapiwi mukana wekuti vangarovera kugedhi redu vasina kumakwa
kodwa-ke nxa sikhangela sibili ukhona ukuthi uzabahekela babuye egedini lakho bagcina bekubambisa ibhola phela siyakhumbula lathi kudala ezikwakhweni eZimbabwe wawusithi nxa usubona ukuthi lapha sokusele 10 minutes or 5 minutes urate usiye egedini kwezithi kube yiphena yabo so kuthi bese bedinga khonokho
angithi uyabona-ke yinto ebengikhuluma ngayo ukuthi nxa usiyadlala umdlalo kumele uzitshele ukuthi kumdlalo wakhona ufuna ukuphuma lani njalo kumele uhlolisise ukuthi nxa umdlalo wakhona usufike esibangeni esithize kuyini ongaphuma lakho kusiya ngokuthi khonapho kuyini olakho ngakho-ke mina ngokubona kwami ngesigaba ebesesifike kiso mina bengicabanga ukuthi ngingumqeqeshi bengingabe sengizitshelile ukuthi akusiya ngokuthi ngidlala lobani kusiya njalo lokuthi kuyini engilakho ngaleso sikhathi ngibona ngathi bengingabe sengisuthiseka ngesikhathi esifitshane esesele ukuthi hayi lapha akusela enza kutholakela ngigcine lokho engilapho ngakho-ke mhlawumbe ngemizuzu emihlanu kumbe eli10 ekade kusiya kufika ekucineni komdlalo mina bengizaqinisa kakhulu emuva ukwenzela ukuthi ngilondoloze khonokho kade ngilokho engilapho lokho yikho okudalele ukuthi ukhangele indlela esihlohlwe ngayo ipenalty ukuthi kuye njani umuntu uyenelise ukuthi achayele egedini engamakwanga ngani ngoba abadlali esiyabe silabo ingqondo abayabe belayo ngaleso sikhathi abanye ngabacabanga lokho becabanga kuyahlohla kodwa thina sifuna ukulondoloza xa ufuna ukulondoloza kumele ube lamadoda aqine kakhulu ngaphi emuva ngakho-ke kumele ucace ukuthi kusiya ngesigaba osukiso okufunayo kuyini njalo abadlali olabo enkundleni bakwenelisa njani lula lokho sokufuna
so now turning esilungwini lapha So when we look at the last minutes of the game, it seems Zimbabwe was maybe too defensive, right?
My belief is that when you go to a game, any game that you play, you must be very clear about what you need out of it, what you need to come out with, and what may be a bonus to it. And so your tactics must be compatible to the needs. When you look at today's game, I think a lot of people, like we said earlier on, had written us off. And the more it progressed as a stalemate, the better it was for us. There were stages when we did take the game to them. There were stages when we attacked. But when you get to about 80 minutes and it's a stalemate against perhaps the best on the continent, you then must be clear about your body language, about your tactics, and about your lineup. It must make a statement of intent, and the statement of intent must have been to preserve the 1 point that we had that late. So I would have congested my defense to preserve what I had, and the players that I would have introduced, I would have sacrificed most of my attacking players. Yes, the likes of Tino Kadewere are good. I would have introduced more defensive-minded players in order to preserve the point, which would have been invaluable.
Yeah, marvelous. Go ahead there.
Tombotarisa takananga kuMalawi mutambo wavo wavachatamba, kochi vanofanira kuita sei apa? Nhasi pavari kupinda matingati mulocker room vachibva kumutambo uyu, zvii zvavari kutaurira maplayers avo semafungiro edu?
Chekutanga tinotenda tambozvitaura kuti vakomana vagona pakuti vabude pamutambo uyu vasina kunyadziswa. Saka kana takatarisa mutambo wenhabvu kukanzi wakundwa, hakuna kumwe kukundwa kuri nani kungapinda kukundwa nechibodzwa chimwe. Kana kuti vamwe vanoti zviri nani ndikundwe nechibodzwa chimwe, ndimwiswe zviviri indamwisa chimwe. Asi nyangwe iyo 1-0 yakanaka, nokuti handiti apa pakupera kwemitambo mitatu yatichatamba zvichatariswa kuti tamwisa ngani tamwiswa ngani. Uye chimwe chinokosha tichiinda kunotamba neMalawi, tisaenda tine pfungwa yekuti ava tatovarova irobho mutambo usati watamba, nokuti izvozvo zvichatisiya tiri pachinano chazopinda Senegal. Chimwe chakanganisa Senegal nhasi ndeyekuti vauya vachizviudza kuti ava tinovarova. Zvese nyange ukavatarisa matambiro avanga vachiita, vanga vachidherera. Saka nesu tikaenda tine pfungwa idzodzo kunotamba neMalawi, zvinozotinetsa zvikasafamba nenzira yatinoda. Tikakoniwa kuvamwisa pakutanga kwomutambo, mutambo uchienderera mberi tisina kumwisa, unozotiremera. Saka zvakakosha kuti titsvage kumwisa kuchakachena, uye zvakakosha kuti titambe mutambo iwoyo tichiziva kuti navo vanogona kutidya. Saka tongwarira kuti tisafunga kuti mutambo tauwina tisati tatomboutamba.
Now, looking at the first 11, Thandazani Zimbwa, give us your take on the first 11. Was it a good lineup or it was a haphazard team?
I'm not I'm comfortable with the way he had set up his lineup, particularly the goalkeeper. There has been so much concern of late about our inconsistency between the posts, but when you look at the goalkeeper, you will see that he performed very well, Petros Mari. I've always believed that he has accounted for himself very well, both on the continent for his club and now for the national team. So I'm very happy with his performance and that he was selected. When you look at Bruce Kangwa, the way he played pretty well. He was overlapping and he was taking on his men. He showed a great confidence. That was good play. When you also look at Madzongwe, the man who conceded the penalty, I think he was one of the hearts of both the coach and the Zimbabweans because of his grit in midfield, his belief, his organization of his teammates. I think he has done well at the center of that midfield, and he has that propensity to even go forward and add the numbers, and he can also shoot. So the fact that he has been given that belief, I think in terms of the lineup, I'm happy that the coach gave him a lot. So generally speaking, I am happy with the lineup that started. I'm quite satisfied.
But certainly the strikers were lacking in terms of the killer punch, right?
Indeed, our strikers, you see, in matches like this, you do not get a lot of chances, and so you need sharpshooters. Our best strikers in recent times have been Knowledge and so on. And when you look at Tino Kadewere, he is a high-profile player. And so when you have Knowledge and you have Tino, you believe that you have a combination that will give you the goals. So it is now up to the production line in midfield to create those opportunities so that they can finish. But when the midfield is not creating anything, any good chances, then you find yourself in the situation that we were. Okay, fine, the chances did come here and there, and I thought there was an opportunity when we should have done better from the corner kick spot. I think it was Teenage Hadebe who just pushed the ball into the keeper's arms. But Teenage is a defender, and you cannot blame him when he can't do better with opportunities at the opposite end of the field.
Yeah, nxa singakhuluma ngesintu ke siyabona ukuthi abadlali aba-11 lapha kade ngani uzamile sibuthi abakhethe. Wena kodwa nxa usukhangela sibili uphenya sibili ujula usiya phansi khonale. Ubona ngani ubekhethe kahle yini kumbe upho kudobhadobha lapha wapho kuphosela nje.
Mina nxa ngikhangele ngizaqala ngo-goalkeeper. Ngiyasuthiseka ngokuthi uPetros Mari uyosetshenziswe ukuthi ugoalkeeper, njalo ungakhangela amanye amathuba abawatholileyo iSenegal. Ngibona ngathi uPetros Mari usincedile ukuthi siyale silokhu esemdlalweni silethemba lokuthi siyathi siqede umdlalo mhlawumbe singawina. Ngakho-ke ngiyasuthiseka. Uzakhumbula ukuthi ensukwini ezedlule imidlalo edlulileyo abantu bebekhonona ngokuthi vele akucace ukuthi kahle kahle onguye ongaba ngugoalkeeper wesizwe ngubani, kodwa ngendlela uPetros Mari adlale ngayo nangendlela vele akade edlala ngayo, ungamkhangela ku-Champions League edlala iqembu lakhe le-Platinum, ubedlala sibili uPetros Mari okusuthisayo. Ngakho-ke ngiyavumelana naye ucoach ukuthi umnike ithuba njalo laye watshengisela ukuthi khona uzimisela ukuthi abe nguye ugoalkeeper wesizwe. Nxa ngikhangela njalo umdlalo njengoBruce Kangwa, ngithokozile ngendlela adlale ngayo ngoba ubele dlabuzane lokuthi asuke evelele emuva esiya phambili siyazama ukuncedisa abadlali baphambili, njalo ube lalo lelo dlabuzane lokuzitshela ukuthi engakwenza lanxa kungasahambanga njalo. Ngakho-ke ngiyajabula ukuthi umdlalo njengoBruce Kangwa utholile ithuba njalo walitshengisela ukuthi hayi kumele abe khona. Ungakhangela abadlali abanjengabo Tino Kadewere labo Msona, yibo vele abathenjwe isizwe ukuthi phambili nxa kuthiwa kuyahlohla yibe esiyabe sibakhangele. Ngakho-ke nxa bekhona labo kuyabe sesikhangelele ukuthi laba abadlala phakathi babise amathuba azaqediswa yibo Umsona. Ngakho-ke nxa amathuba lawana engasabuyanga kusuka kube nzima phela ukuthi labo lanxa bezingcitshi kuyini abazakuqedisa ngoba laba abadlala phakathi amathuba kabuye. Kodwa into ebengifisa ukuthi ngiyikhulume ukuthi abanike uPrince Dube ithuba. uPrince bengamnika ithuba mina mbona ngalo umfana lwana ulakho okuyikho okungayenza ukuthi isizwe sakithi lanxa sesidinga sithole, ngoba nxa ungasamphanga ithuba mina mbona ngathi kuyambulala khomkhana kumfaka ebhentshini. Ngakho-ke nxa bengamnika ithuba kuyambulala ngoba yena uyabe ezitshela ukuthi hayi ngibuyile lalokho engiyake ngikwenze lapho endidlala khona kathi kungangehlulana, ebese yekela ukuphiwa ithuba mbona ngathi kungamlimaza khona.
Yeah, marvelous. Ngena khonapho.
Are we likely to see any new stars or, emerging from this Zimbabwean crop that is currently at the Africa Cup of Nations? Because we see, some of the popular names didn't go. So are we likely to see any new emerging stars from this current crop?
I think with Zimbabwe, the stars can only come when we use young players. But when you look at the crop that is at the Nations Cup, most of them, I think, are above 27, 28 years. And for that, it becomes very difficult for any surprise package. But like I spoke of a player like Prince Dube, he's young, he still is looking up for bigger things. And given an opportunity, he has so much to prove. Most of the players that we have already proven what they can do, and it's nothing new. So we are not likely to discover a lot from our players because most of them are at an advanced stage of their careers. Whereas the young players in Zimbabwe do not get the opportunity to represent their country. When you look at a player like Prince Dube, one of the reasons why he can't start is not because he doesn't have the ability, but it is because we have come to a point where we are so desperate for results, we cannot take chances with young players. So unless it takes us back to our development program and the matches, the competitions that we expose our junior players to, so that we identify their potential and we can therefore throw them in at big tournaments given our experience with them in less competitions.
Tiri papo vamwe kumusha ikoko kuZimbabwe vari kutambira sei mutambo watambwa nhasi uyu, uyezve tingawane here pachizobuda atingati aya masuperstar matsva pane mutambo uyu weAfrica Cup of Nations patimu iriko iyi yekuZimbabwe yeMawarriors?
Ini vakawanda vatanga tichiona bhora tinavo, nyangwe hazvo vasingafari nokuti hatina kuzobuda nechinhu, asi havana kuzogunun'una zvikuru nekurohwa kwataitwa, nokuti vakawanda vanhu vanga vachitaura kuti ticharohwa nezvibodzwa zvakawanda, tichanyadziswa. Tabuda hedu tisina kudyiwa, asi hatina kunyadzisa. Saka vanhu havasi kugunun'una zvikuru kuti tarohwa. Chechipiri, kana takatarisa vatambi vedu vakawanda vashoma vatingati hapana zvatingazive nezvavo. Vakawanda tinovaziva, uye vakawanda mukatarisa makore avo ekutamba vati kurei. Ndosaka apa ndichitaura zvikuru pachikomana Prince Dube achiri mudiki aratidza kwaari kutamba kuti akapuhwa mukana anoita zvaanenge anzi zvaanenge akatarisira. Saka ini ndofunga kuti dai vachimupa mukana wakawanda mukomana uyu achine zvakawanda zvaari kuda kutiratidza kuti anozvigona. Zvino tikasamupa ndotenda zvingamukuvadza futi nyangwe mupfungwa kuti ko inini chii chandinotadza kuti ndisapuwa mukana iwoyo kuti ndiratidze, ko kwandinotamba zvandiri kuratidza kuti ndinogona. Zvino kana ndauya kuno kuvasi chii chavasiri kugutsikana nacho kuti neni nditamba.
So now, are we likely going to see any changes against Malawi on Friday?
I think the result, not the performance, determines what we are going to do in the game against Malawi. And because the result is a loss, the coach will change. Also, our opponent, the quality of our opponent is likely to determine how we will line up. Because it's Malawi, because it's like a derby. So we are likely to have an offensive approach to that game. There will be less caution against Malawi, because in our mindset, I think we will approach it as favorites. And so the statement will be made by an offensive starting lineup.
So what do you call an offensive lineup in this case? Who can be? Yes.
Lineup is one that has more attack-minded players, midfielders, than defensive-minded players.
Who do you have in mind? Yes.
Knowledge is experience. So definitely, Chino Kadewere is playing in one of the best leagues. So likewise, he will be there. Because the coach has worked with Kamusoko. And the coach has worked with the likes of, and he keeps working with the likes of Madzongwe. Definitely, I think Kamusoko will start this time around because of coordination, because of telepathy, and because of belief. The coach understands it's a must-win. So he will use the players that he knows the most, that he has worked with the most, and the players that can play for him much, much more passionately. So we are most likely to see more players that have worked under Mapeza, because he thinks that's where the source of success is likely to come from.
Yes, so ngathi ke nxa sikhangele ngesintu ukuthi kufika ngolesihlanu ubona kanjani kwaba lenguquko nxa sikhangela abadlali kumbe kahlala kunjalo?
Mina ngibona ngathi okuza ncedisa ukuthi akhethe njani abadlali bakhe ngokwenzakele namhlanje, ngoba namhlanje siphume sinqotshiwe. Lo umdlalo obuyayo awusivumeli ukuthi sinqotshwe njalo. Ngakho-ke uyakwazi umqeqeshi wethu ukuthi kulo umdlalo kumele asebenzise abadlali labana abanedlavuzane lokuthi bamdlalele. Okwesibili, ufuna ukusebenzisa abadlali labana abaziyo, abadlali ake wasebenza labo. Ngakho-ke njalo ufuna ukusebenzisa abadlali abazanayo, ikakhulu abasebenzisa besaseku-FC Platinum. Ngakho ngikhangelela ukuthi kulo umdlalo obuyayo against Malawi, ngoba umqeqeshi uyakwazi ukuthi singadliwa khonapho akuselo kwethu, uzafuna ukusebenzisa labo badlali abangamdlalela, abaziyo njalo abazanayo.
Yeah, so Marvelous, chip in there.
Aha, tombotarisa mutambo uri kuuya. Tingaone pane kusanduka here kwemamiriro emutambo uchawanikwa iwo uchitambwa neZimbabwe nemaWarriors pavachatamba neMalawi.
Mutambo uri kuuya neMalawi. Ndinotenda kuti coach vedu vachatarisa zvaitika pamutambo wedu wanhasi. Vozviudza kuti nokuti hapana zvatabuda nazvo, uyu waakuya weMalawi tinotofanirwa kubuda nemapoints ese. Saka apa ndotenda kuti achada kuti ashandise vatambi vaanoziva kuti vanogona kumutambira. Chechipiri achada kutambisa vatambi vaanonyatsoziva. Vatambi avo vatambi vaakamboshandisa kwaanokocha pamwe kuFC Platinum, uye vatambi vanozivana kuti vanotamba sei. Tichatarisa kuti mutambo wanhasi chikomana Kamusoko chazopinda chichibva kubhenji. Ndofungidzira kuti pamutambo weMalawi chikomana ichi chichatangisa kutamba. Chechipiri tinoona kuti vatambi Chino Kadewere ndimwe ari kutamba mumaleagues kuFrance. Musona ndemumwe wevatambi vatibatsira vakatisvitsa kure pamutambo wenhabvu. Saka tinotoziva zvaangatiitira. Ndotenda naye ndomwe achatanga. Saka zvinenge zvakakosha kuti pamutambo unouya weMalawi hapana zvimwe zvatakatarisira panze pekuti tikunde, nokuti tikasakunda chete zvedu zvichatiremera kuti tisvike munext round.
So now, taking into account that you are saying you may have difficulties in terms of getting to the next round. So what should be done to Zimbabweans? Because every time we've got this problem of, just losing at the last minute. In this case, the team lost just 25 seconds before the game was over. So I got a text from somebody who said, "What's wrong with Zimbabwe? Are we a cursed nation?"
I think, Gibbs, in a game, after it has been played, in retrospect, a 1-0 is 1-0 regardless of the 5th, 45th, or 90th minute you have lost. All that comes from the way you prepare for the game, how much time you spend together, how good your preparations are. As long as our preparations are haphazard, we shall always, it's the means that justify the ends. It's the preparations that justify the result. So whether we lose by the last minute, because of the way we prepared. So the usual Zimbabwean story is foretold by the way we prepare. We don't prepare at all. We think we can make ends meet simply by putting 11 players together and making them play.
We used to call that imbechi. I still remember when we used to play as Kwakwen. So we call that imbechi, like you get Thandazani there, you get somebody from another corner and try to put up a team. So konoko ke aisiko yini okuhlupha iZimbabwe.
Nxa kuyikuthi okusuka kuhluphe yikuthi thina vele okuthiwa ngamalungiselelo siyakudelela sibona ngathi akusebenzi. Kodwa nxa amalungiselelo engasebenzi kanti lawa amanye amaqembu wonke alabadlali abangcono kulabethu aseke anqoba ekumncintisano enjengayona le esikiyo, kungani eqakathekisa amalungiselelo? Kanti ukwenza ukuthi thina singakaze sifike khatshana kuwona umncintiswano, isikhathi sonke nxa sisiya kuwo singabi lamalungiselelo ajulileyo. Kuyini? Kanti okusehlulayo ukuthi sike silungiselele lathi sibe sesibona ukuthi kuzahamba njani. Okusehlulayo kuyini?
So what could be the problem really, Thandazani Zimbwa? What is the problem?
The problem is that as a nation, we do not take seriously investing in development, number one. We do not take seriously in investing in preparations, number two. The sport in our country is not taken seriously. It still remains a pastime. It's an opportunity. It is an opportunity for some to claim glory. That's what we use it for.
And we always want to have good results. Marvelous.
Tichibatanidza zvakataurwa na amai Miriam Sibanda vanga vari pano nemusi wechishanu vakataura ivo nyaya yawataura Thandazani Zimbwa yekuti development soccer munyika ndo imwe iri kunetsa, hamuna pari zvino, vachitaura ivo kuti ndo pamwe panofanira kusungwa pasimbe ipapo. Munganyatsotsanangura kuti development soccer iyi inoitwa sei, uyezve dai zifa yanga yakateerera pari zvino vanofanira kunge vari kuita sei?
Mukacherechedza vanzwadzi muchaona kuti vatambi vari kushedzwa. Iye nhasi pakangozikanwa kuti pane umwe mutambi ane vabereki vekuZimbabwe ari kutamba kuEngland, ari kutamba kuDivision 1. Akunzi passport, ane passport yekupi? Ane passport yekwedu here? Akuuya kuti azoona kuti angatambira here nyika. Moze here kuti Fabish German uya ano mwana ane passport yeZimbabwe, ngaauya ozotambira nyika yeZimbabwe. Ko nhandare dzese dzakazara muno muZimbabwe, ko zvatinoona pese pane nhandare pari kutambwa bhora nevadiki, tiri kutadza kuti pese ipapo tione kuti kune vekwedu vatingasarudza vangazoguma vakumirira nyika here. Ko chii chatiri kuita kuti vatambi vari kutamba kumusha vagone kuonekwa vachiri vadiki, vapiwe mukana wokutamba vachitambira zviripo, kuitira kuti makore avo kana akuvatendera kuti vatambire nyika kumusoro-soro ndivo vanotimirira. Chinotitadzisa chii? Zvinoratidza pakuti hatina basa neinonzi development, hatina basa nevadiki. Isusu zvatiri kungoda kuinda ikokuya kwakunzi kune mafinals eAFCON, tionekwe tirisu kwakuridzwa rwuye runomirira nyika, tisu takapfeka masutu takamirira nyika. Asi chii chataita kuti vakomana kunyika kwedu vagone kudzidziswa mutambo wenhabvu, vagone kutamba mutambo mazuva ose, maweekend ese, pamberi pevanhu vakawanda, zvichazoita kuti vave nani, vave ivo vachamirira nyika, sezvakaita Peter haana kutamba bhora kuEngland achiri mudiki, akaonekwa nokuti aitamba kumuzilikazi nokuti City Council yaiziva kuti ukapa vana nhandare vaswere vachitamba ipapo ndo pavachaona zvavanogona, ndo patichavawana vatambire nyika. Iye zvino hazvichaitiki izvozvo.
And that is a very big problem. So who has to initiate all these kind of programs, the junior development policy and so forth?
It's a partnership. It has to be a partnership. Schools must be involved. Councils, because councils have facilities, they must be supported. And football authorities, the football association must participate as well. We need the competition, and we need the regular competitions for our juniors. So facilities must be made available, equipment must be made available, but for all that to happen, there must be resources. So the reason why I mentioned the government is because we have a ministry, and the ministry knows that the most popular sport is football. So just how much does it prioritize to make sure that football grows bigger than what it is?
But at the moment, we see the government wants to control the Zifa board and so forth. So singathi ke nxa ukhangele khonapho baba Thandazani Zimbwa, kumele kuqalise ngaphi khona ukuthi kulungiswe ukuthi kulungiswe kulolonga abantwana into ezinjalo, akuyichayi khonapho sizwe ukuthi kuqalise ngaphi.
Mina ngombono wami asikhangeleni ukuthi sisathola abadlali abayibo sazigatsha ngabo kakhulu babevela ngaphi. Umdlali obuye engqondweni yami nguPeter. uPeter kavelanga ku-academy, uPeter wavela emzilikazi youth center. Ungakhangela khathesi ama-youth centers ethu mangaka ama-youth centers asebenzayo, kodwa nxa ukhuluma ngebhora leZimbabwe wonke umuntu uthi lokhana kuzakuba njengoPeter, lokho kuvelela ngaphi? Ngoba okwayenza ukuthi uPeter abe khona akusasebenzi, kodwa sicabanga ukuthi uPeter uyabuyevela ngaphi, njengoba khonokho phela okwasidalela uPeter akusekho. Asikuvuseni khonokho kuyikho kwadala uPeter. Njalo kumele sibone ukuthi abantwana laba siyabanika amathuba ukuthi behlale bedlala, njalo nxa bezahlala bedlala babe lendawo zakhona ezokudlala, njalo nxa sebethola indawo zokudlala behlala bedlala kube khona abakudlalelayo. Uzabona ukuthi besasebatsha lathi idlabuzane lokuthi siyebabukela sizalithola singahamba sihlale sibabukela bathi sebekhulile isikhathi sokuthi bemele lilizwe sesifikile yibo abadlali abazasimelela ngendlela efanayo eyadlalwa nguMoses Chunga eyadlalwa nguPeter Ndlovu eyadlalwa nguBenjamin Kote.
So siyakuzwa kakhulu ke mapela singena khonapho sizwe ukuthi
aiwandafadzwa zvanga zviri kutaurwa namukoma Zimbwa nyaya iyo yedevelopment nekuti ndonguva yekuti tiitaure apo kuine makwikwi akadai sekuAfrica Cup of Nations. Saka pane dzimwe nyika here dziri kuita zvamuri kutaura idzi dzinokwanisa kunge Zimbabwe ichizodzidzawo kubva kwadziri panyaya iyoyi yedevelopment yevechidiki kuitira kuti tizoona vechidiki ava vachipindawo mumakwikwi akadai seAfrica Cup of Nations.
Ndine urombo zvikuru vanzwa dzinokuti ndichakuudzai zvakamboitika kune imwe Olympic Games final. Kune vatambi vakaita sana JJ Okocha vaitamba vari kuma under 23 nana Kanu vana Kanu vaitamba vari kuma under 23 vaitamba nani vari vakomana vadiki vaitamba nana Messi vari kuma under 23. Munoziva zvinozoitika ndezvokuti kana vakusangana kuWorld Cup harohwi nehana Kanu kuti uyu ndiMessi kana kuti ndiani nokuti handiti akambomuona achitamba naye vachitomudya vachitamba naye vari vadiki. Saka kana vachimuona ava vaakutamba kuWorld Cup hazvimubvundutsi. Mandibvunza mubvunzo wokuti kune dzimwe nyika here dziri kuita zvandiri kutaura. Munoziva ukauya kuZimbabwe iye zvino unoudzwa kuti kuSouth Africa vari kuitei ko zvinei nezvo. Saka munondiudza kuti isu maZimbabwe hatigoni kuzvigadzirira nzira ichaita kuti tibudirire mubhora. Hatigoni kuti vadiki vedu tivagadzirire nzvimbo dzekutamba tivadzidzise kuti matambiro atinoda kana uri wekuZimbabwe ndeakati. Saka tinofanirwa kuita zviri kuitwa neFrance ndo zvatofanirwa kuita muZimbabwe nokuti France ndio yakahwina World Cup. Isu hatigoni kuona nzira dzedu dzichadzidzisa vana vedu nzira yekutamba bhora inoita kuti musi watinotamba neSouth Africa tikunde South Africa. Saka taakufanirwa kudzidza here kuSouth Africa, tofanirwa kudzidza kuNigeria.
Siyakuzwa kakhulu ke khonapho khuluma Thandazani Zimbwa. So ungathi ukuthi kulamanye amazwe yini owabukayo wena ayenza khonokho ke i-junior policy development yakhona le?
Mina ngizigaja ngakho ukuthi nyala lokho ngibuyela kuPeter Ndlovu. UPeter Ndlovu kasebenzisanga indlela abayisebenzisayo eNigeria kumbe indlela abayisebenzisa eMali ukuthi agcine nguPeter. UPeter wakhuliswa kuma-recreational centers. Uyakwazi yini ukuthi kuma-Olympic Games awama under 23 oKhanu babehlangana labo Messi badlale labo babahle and nxa sebesiyahlangana-ke sebebadala bengaseyibo ma-under 23 uKhanu katshaywa luvalo ukuthi udlala lo Messi okwenza ukuthi engatshaywa luvalo yikubana useke wadlala laye esasengumfana omncane. Nxa abafana bethu singabaqeqesha bebancane senze ukuthi badlale kumncintiswano bebancane bazahlangana labo nabo abantu asebedlala labo khathesi ku-Nations Cup osala ku-World Cup akusoze kubatshayise ngovalo. Ngani? Ngoba bake badlala labo besasebancane. Mina angikholwa ukuthi kumele sithi eGoli kathi bayenza njani ukwenzela ukuthi lathi senze khonokho. Lithi ukuthi khona lina njengesizwe siyehluleka yini ukuthi siyenze izinto ngendlela yethu, ngendlela eyasinika uPeter, sibe sesiyadlala leGoli sibone ukuthi kuzahamba njani. So kumele siyefunda eGoli ukuthi kwenziwa njani ukuthi sidle iGoli. Kodwa iGoli yathi ithola uzibusi yabuya lapha sayibhuqa. Siyibhuqile khathesi sesithi kumele siyefunda kibo.
So kukhanya ngazani sibili kunenga kumele kwezwe lelizwe leZimbabwe. Sicela ukufaka ngesikhiwa khonokho kade ukhuluma ngakho.
I think that the way forward, what will get us where we want to be, is not necessarily borrowing from other countries. Yes, it's good to learn, but it is wrong to take a hook, line, and sinker. Do you know? Are you aware that at some stage during the Olympics, Kanu and Messi faced each other, and he was never intimidated by the likes of Messi because even when they met at a higher level, be it at a club level or World Cup, he would not be intimidated. The reason being that they had played against each other at junior level. And so when they meet at the highest level of the game, it doesn't intimidate him. So what we need to do is to expose our juniors to the highest level of competitions when they are young, so that when they meet the same players at the highest level of football, they are not intimidated because they have played against each other. I do not think that the issue lies in us learning from our neighboring countries, learning from South Africa. Remember, when South Africa got independent, their first game against Zimbabwe, we thrashed them for, I think it was 4-0. But today we are saying we must go and learn from South Africa. What's the point?
You can say that again, marvelous.
And also maybe just taking a look, you mentioned at length the likes of Peter Ndlovu. We have the likes of Bejano Marwaru, who played, in the Premier Leagues, in the English League. Are they plowing back into Zimbabwean soccer? What role can they be given? And are they given the opportunity to actually come in and also impart, especially in developmental soccer in Zimbabwe?
I'm very happy you mentioned Benjani Marwari. Do you know, when I was watching football today, Benjani Marwari was analyzing analyzing the match. Do you know with who? With the likes of Andre Andres, the former Bafana goalkeeper, our own Benjani Marwari. So before we even talk about that, he is plowing back. He is even motivating even the likes of us. If Marwari can do it as Zimbabwe, it means there are so many things that we as Zimbabweans can also do and be recognized in. And then when it comes to plowing back, only a month ago, Benjani was launching a very good youth league in Bulawayo, where young boys will compete regularly against one another. And he has put in place a mechanism to identify talent. And when that talent is outstanding, they will be exposed at the highest level of the world to play against other young players. So yes, there are some who are doing a lot for the development. But Benjani is an individual, remember. We need to look at it from a bigger scale, because there are institutions like the Mother Body, like the SRC, like the Council. Those are big institutions with resources that must take the initiative to make available facilities, equipment, and place programs that compel boys to go and play.
Yes.
Moti tauro muri kutaura imi kuti Benjani Marwari mumwe weavo vanga vari kuwanikwa nhasi vachitsanangura zvanga zviri kuitika kuAfrica Cup of Nations. Ndandabvunza ini kuti vatambi vedu veMawarriors ekudhara savana Peter Ndlovu naBenjani Marwari nevamwewo vamwe takaona wechidiki ari South Africa achitaura iye kuti aretire kubva kunational team, I think. Asi pane zvavari kuunza here mubhora reMawarriors imomo?
Ndinotenda zvikuru kuti mandibvunza nyaya yaBenjani. Moziva here kuti nhasi patachiona mutambo weZimbabwe neSenegal, mumwe wevekwedu kuZimbabwe anga achitsanangura matambiro anga achiita vakomana vedu nevekuSenegal iko kuSouth Africa ndiBenjani. Saka izvi zvinotifadza zvikuru uye zvinotipa manyukunyuku nokuti nesu tinobva taona kuti zvoreva kuti mukana uyu tingauwanawo tikagona, nokuti kana Benjani vangamupa mukana iwoyo, ndofunga kana aripo ipo paanogona kutaura kuti naZimbwa tomuziva angazviita. Saka izvozvo tinodada zvikuru nazvo. Ndinodadazve kuti iye Benjani wandiri kutaura uyu, mwedzi wapera uyu anga achitanga chirongwa cheleague yevakomana vadiki vachange vachitamba muno muBulawayo. Ipapo pakutamba pamakwikwi ayo pane vakomana vachasarudzwa vanogona kutamba bhora, voindiswa kune dzimwe nyika kunotambwa bhora nenzira iri pamusoro-soro. Saka izvozvo zvoratidza kuti Benjani ane chido uye ari kupinda muhomwe yake kuti abatsire kubudirira kwebhora remunyika. Asi tisakanganwa kuti kune hurumende inofanirwa kubatsira, kune SRC, kune ZIFA nemacity council anofanirwa kuti abatsire nenzvimbo dzevana kuti vatambire, vanofanirwa kuti vatibatsire nehomwe. Zvakawanda zvinodikanwa kuti vatambe vabudirire.
Thank you very much. On that note, we end our show today. wish to thank our guest this evening, independent soccer commentator Thandazani Zimbwa. He's based in Bulawayo. He'll be with us as long as the tournament lasts. So we are very happy to have such a knowledgeable person. Signing off from Maryland, this is Gibbs Dube saying good night, Zimbabwe.
And from Washington, D.C., this is Marvelous Mflanganyahuye saying go Warriors, go when you meet Malawi on Wednesday.
Good night.